Okay, so welcome to today's live session. So it is 1:30 p.m. 22nd of April 2024. So starting on the dollar index, okay, just go to the monthly a moment. Now on the monthly, we are revisiting this area, this imbalance. So is this now coming up to react one more time to the downside, or are we going to break that high? Okay, on the weekly, given that weekly structure, this is bullish. So realistically, that high could potentially go, but it all depends on what price does at the moment, because let's not forget we are reacting off of this daily area. One thing I do favor about the high going is this, so relative equal highs. Okay, so in other words, potential liquidity resting above there. Okay. And we also have that weekly area down below. We've printed another area right there, which we can mark on together. Like so. So we could even come into that this week before making new highs potentially. All right, so on the daily, that's what we're looking like. So last week we did have this bearish candle coming off of this. On the 4 hour, we broke that low with a candle body closure, and now currently we are potentially having that retracement, because obviously we have achieved a premium of that now. So if we do break this low on the 4 hour, then obviously that would indicate a slight momentum shift, and then we could even obviously reach that first of all, because that's right below the low, and even potentially go and take this liquidity here to run into these areas. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on the dollar. In terms of news, let's have a look at the news, just to have a look at this week's news. Okay, so nothing today. We've got some high impact news tomorrow on the euro, pound, and then dollar as well. Okay, let's go at last week's news and just double check the dollar's news. I just wanted to see if it was, that was positive for the dollar. So actual less than forecast. It's good for currency. What else did we have dollar wise? Then we had these, didn't we? Okay. And then we had that there. This was a mixture, to be honest. We had positive and then negative. So yeah, it's I've got different things open there. There you go. It depends on what we do at this level, basically. So that's that. Let's look at pound yen. So pound yen closed below our weekly area on Friday's closure. So that was the area. Price came up and zipped back down below and then closed here. Okay. What price is currently sitting on is this weekly support. Very visible. And then on the daily, it is looking a bit messy, to be honest. And it's clearly not wanting to go up here, because look at how many times price decided to bump its head on that specific price point, 192,413. So that was created, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days wicked into that area and then slammed back down below. So 6 days price rejected that. Then on Friday we had that closure, bringing price down here and back below the weekly. Okay, so where could we be going now? Well, from a weekly perspective, we've got this that we could potentially run into down here. That comes in at around 189. Okay, psychological number there. 189. What does that look like on the daily? We've also got a minor imbalance right there on the daily. Quite interesting. Okay, and then on the 4 hour. So this 4 hour structure is looking like it is holding, because if we remember, this is what I had marked on a couple of weeks ago. I had this low, the high, higher low, higher high. This low was broken with that low there, and then this was just a retracement. So if we get a closure below here now on the 4 hour, then of course this would be the lower high on the 4 hour. So essentially we'd have done this, break, pull back, continuation, we close below there. Okay, so that's why using structure is very, very important, and GJ does like to respect structure in my experience. But we'll have to see what it does at this level, because let's not forget, this is a weekly area of support, so it could find its feet and continue up. So it's a very, very interesting point for GJ. It really, really is. There's the 4 hour low there. We can take that off the weekly and daily. Okay. So that's GJ. Let's look at GU. So from a weekly perspective, we had that weekly closure closing below that, what we had marked on, if you remember. So that's now closed below, indicating we want to go lower. Well, the next point of call would be this, just by eye. Yeah, so 1.22268. That's obviously a weekly area. We've got a monthly area resting below. Okay, let's take that away. Not too many lines on here. Let's go down into the daily. Also a nice daily area as well, right there. Got daily imbalance, interesting, on there as well. I'm not going to mark it on, but it's just there. Look, the imbalance, bringing it through, and then 4 hour. 4 hour, we could just have a clean run to the downside, down into here potentially, because there's not really anything there, to be honest. And then, yeah, like I say, daily wise, we've got that imbalance, so we could spike into the imbalance, simultaneously spike into this weekly area of support, and yeah, from there, this would be the last line in the sand in terms of this structure, because that's the most recent low, because that's the low from this low to the high. Then if we get a daily closure below here, we would have switched bearish on this structure as well. Okay, so that's something I'm going to be watching. Okay, and then if that low goes, it begs the question if that low is going to go. Yeah, because on the monthly, weekly, we've got an imbalance resting just there. Down here, look. So we could actually be aiming for that overall. We really, really could. We've also got a weekly area right there, which is interesting. 1.16135. Okay, is very, very possible for this. Which, of course, that aligns, or that would align with what we just said about on the dollar, because this structure is bullish. So realistically, those highs could go. That high could go. We've got that area higher above. If we do decide to rally to the upside, which we haven't mitigated just yet, this weekly area. So yeah, that would align with this coming down if that was to play out. All right. In terms of looking to enter the market, what I would want to do is look for or wait for some sort of retracement into a premium, okay, and then look for levels of resistance, etc. Yeah. So you can see one level I've got on there is 1.26. That's a weekly area, very, very clear. And then similar on the daily as well. Yeah, we've got daily imbalance there, could be used. Got daily imbalance there as well. So an interesting point for this. Let's look at euro dollar. So euro dollar from a weekly point of view. From a weekly point of view, we've actually created, you could argue, a fresh level, which is right there. Yeah, so weekly level created, bring that through. Price is resting on that right now. Yeah, so from look at the daily, look, closed above. Obviously we are Monday right now. Okay, let's double check that. Yeah, we are Monday right now. So is this going to be used as support to send price higher? If that isn't the case, we've got levels to the left that we could reach. Okay, 1.05948, basically 1.06, round number. And we've also got a monthly area right there. Okay, just there. So going back into the daily then. To the upside, if we do decide to retrace, we've got this. We've got that. Okay, and on the weekly, we've got that right there as well. Actually similar to GU. Could even take it to there or there. Okay. So that's what we're working with on the EU at the moment. 4 hour. Just going to take some of these daily areas off. We did have a nice reaction though, so you can see how these work quite nicely. So that was an area on the daily, bringing it through. Price wicked into that on Tuesday. Wednesday we had a bullish candle, retrace back. And then down here, I'm going to take that off because we've got a monthly area right next to it. We've got another daily area right there. Okay. So that's what we're looking at on EU. Let's look at USD CAD. Take these off. So on the weekly, really nice rejection from this weekly area, what we were speaking about last week, 1.38 psychological level. Shooting star on the weekly as well, indication for a pullback or reversal. Looks like we are doing that. So on the daily then, on the daily, actually before we do that, on the weekly, we could argue this is our new bullish weekly leg because, sorry guys, because this high broke that high, so we broke structure. This could be a pullback to continue the momentum to the upside. All the way to the lows, we have this weekly area. So all of this right here, liquidity. Yeah. Trend line liquidity, very simple. Stop losses are going to be below those lows on the lower time frames. If you look at the 4 hour, look at those higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It's all just liquidity. So on the daily, nothing really to discuss. Obviously, we've got that new level there. On the 4 hour time frame, we have created this, which is what I just took off a moment ago. This structure. So we made, obviously that was the high, the low, lower high, lower low. So this is now the most recent leg to the downside. Let's just say that is the low. We can't draw it on yet, but because we don't know if that's the low or not. Let's just say it is. Then we'd be looking for premium, look for something to the left, wait for a confirmation to go short. Simple as that. Okay, simple as that. And then on the weekly, what we've also done is created that. So that would align with a premium. There it does. So if we retrace back up into here and have some sort of confirmation on the lower time frame, that would be a good area to short the market. Potentially down into here, 1.358. Okay, take that away. So that's USD CAD. That's USD CAD. Yeah, can't go up forever and ever and ever and ever. It's got to have pullbacks. This could be one of those pullbacks before it could continue up. So potentially 1.4, even above. Yeah, because these are higher time frame areas. They're not just plucked out of thin air. They're higher time frame areas. So 1.38756 right there, and I believe this is a monthly area. 1.406 over here. Okay. Again, this could all be liquidity here as well. We took out that liquidity to the downside. Look at that build-up of liquidity from 2022 November to May 2023, and then June comes and takes that out, breaks that high, pull back. You know, can we do something like this? Come up, or come into here, come up. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on USD CAD. All right. So let's go back into the 4 hour. So in a situation like this, all I'll do is I'll just set an alert on this line, and if and when we tap into that, like I said, monitor the lower time frame to get the entry model, and away you go. And away you go. So let's look at Euro JPY. So EJ was not like GJ. Okay, so there was a difference in the fact that Euro JPY closed above that level here last week, indicating upward movement is still to come, which looking at the daily does look like that, to be honest, as well. Nice tap into that level there, beautiful, really, really nice. Manipulation, it just comes into these levels. Price action is king and structure is king. Bullish, higher highs, higher lows, very, very simple. 4 hour wise. Now this is interesting as well, because on the 4 hour we've broken bearish structure, the same as GJ. But going off of the weekly closure, it looks like momentum is still to the upside. Because on GJ, if you remember, that sort of pattern there, it's the same on Euro JPY. So let me just mark this on. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, lower, low, because we broke that most recent structure point. So realistically, from a structural standpoint on the 4 hour, this could just be a pullback for price to come lower. But, you know, sometimes it does conflict with, excuse me, need a drink, talking too much. It does conflict with higher time frame areas and candle closures. Obviously, the best thing to do is always go from the higher time frame, because obviously that's going to hold more weight and more value to it, because obviously the idea is top-down analysis is you go down step by step by step by step. You don't just jump straight into the 5 minute and, you know, have these irrational ideas of where price is going to go, or 1 minute or 30 second, right? You just go down slowly. You can see on my chart there, I'll start on the 12 month and go down gradually. Okay, so the weekly is telling me it could go up higher. So with that in mind, realistically, we could be looking for pullbacks once again. So what we've done here is had another push to the upside. Therefore, we could have another discount, find something within here to then go long. Yeah. So realistically, we could be marking that structure on now, to be honest. Like so. Okay, I'm not going to mark the high on because I don't know if that's the actual high. It could come higher. But what I've identified there is the fact that we've made a high, higher low, higher high. Yeah. So with the weekly in mind, like I've just said about, we could have a retracement. On the daily, in terms of areas and things that we could wick into as support, nothing really to discuss there. Can mark that on the 4 hour. Looks like a nice area because that would also align within a discount of that leg. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to replace it with a line just to clean things up. Okay, nice and simple. Then we know what that is. Okay, that's the weekly, the last week's area. So USD JPY, wicks to the downside, still looking bullish, in my opinion, on the weekly. On the weekly, bullish candle closure last week. I do believe we've got a clean run up to here. Having said that, if we do decide to pull back, this would be an area at which we could use as support. I've not been one to trade this pair personally, but just from, you know, doing the analysis, that's looking like a decent area at which it could find its feet if it does decide to pull back. But other than that, I do believe that's going to get tapped into. And that was taken, I can't go back that far on this chart. It was taken from a weekly or monthly area. Just go to FXCM and you'll see that. Oh, sorry. So yeah, 158,950 is all the way over here. That's just that high there. Look. So back in 1990, that was printed. Okay, gold looking like a decent pullback. Okay, let's have a look. So going from the weekly, take these off the weekly. So from a weekly perspective, we've got an imbalance right there that could be filled. So it could be aiming for that now, potentially. Yeah. We've got these areas down here. That's a monthly area, I believe. Daily time frame wise, manipulation by the looks of it, because we had a closure above this high, indicating potential higher prices. Obviously, prices dumped. But where have we come down into? We've come down into this area. So this could actually be used. I'm going to take it to there. This now could be used as support to then bring price up. To take out that liquidity there. Yeah. Because if we look on a 4 hour time frame, you're going to see that liquidity. So yeah, this could be used right now to take price higher. It really could. Okay. In terms of the 4 hour time frame, we had a closure below there. That was at 10 a.m. today, indicating lower prices, and down we come. Okay, you know, the fact that we've just slammed down into this daily area, yeah, like I say, it could be used as support, so we'll have to see with that. 15-minute wise. 15-minute wise, we've got that. that candle there, which it could be reacting from currently, which it looks like it is. Okay, that 15-minute demand. Remember, the blue line is the daily area, so a nice reaction from there so far. This is the 15-minute time frame. This is the 15-minute candle that was at the low. So yeah, like I say, it could react from here. Bullish, it really could. Or at least get us a premium of this leg. At least. Okay. Because we've got bearish structure now. Pretty sure that's on the 1 hour visible. Yeah. So on the 1 hour, we've got a high, low, lower high, lower low. But let's not forget, this is internal structure to what's actually happening within here. This is all bullish. Okay. So if this was to continue bullish, the next, I guess you could say, sign or thing that we'd want to see is that high get broken for sure, and then obviously these highs. Yeah, because currently it's just took out all of this liquidity. We don't know if this is a start of a trend shift. If it is, then these lows are most likely to go, these lows are most likely to go, and so are these, if it is that. But if this daily level can hold, then we'll see a nice turnaround and see what we do within this premium first before we start getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah, 4 hour, let's just double check that on the 4 hour. We've got some imbalances up here that have been left. Okay, and then silver. Look what silver did. So silver closed above this area on Friday. This is what we were speaking about. I said if we get a closure above, then we could indicate, well, it could indicate that we want to go higher. Obviously, we are Monday now, and we've just made a low. So if we think of it logically, what this could be, it could be a wick of a weekly candle before it goes up. Yeah. Similar with gold even, to be honest. Similar with gold. If this is going to continue bullish, this is just going to be a weekly wick. You know, so something like that candle there maybe, or that one there, good example. Yeah, so obviously I had to make a low first before we have that, because yeah, it's not actually made a wick at all on top. There's no wick at all. So this could be a wick to the downside before we get a rally to the upside. Okay, similar with silver. So on silver then, where could we come into? Well, we've got this area right there. We've also got that. Okay. That was used very nicely last week, that area. Wicked into it Friday. 4 hour. Obviously, we've took out all of that liquidity, but realistically, it could just be a pullback. So we'll have to see. One thing I don't like is the sheer spike that left to the upside. I don't like that, because we have a spike there, similar look. When we come down, similar spike there, come down, even there, spike, come down, same thing there, spike, come down. That's why it's important to really look over previous data, because it can give you clues as to what's going to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen 100% of the time, but it can give you clues, no doubt. Okay, yeah, so I don't really like that. And yeah, gold did a similar thing. It really did. It's actually given 2 spikes. 1, 2. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I think we missed Australian dollar, US dollar. I'm not going to have time to go over this one, but we can catch up with this pair on the second live this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. UK time. So without further ado, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please put them in the chat as always, and I'm more than willing to answer anything you do have, or if you need help with anything. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you gained value from it as always, and I will see you in the next one. So thank you. Cheers.